Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful day in Davao City. Forgive the audio quality because I'm by the highway, so there's going to be a lot of noise. But I believe that this message is so important that I had to record this today for you and for myself. So, the idea of financial freedom, we need to talk about it more for more Filipinos. Pero it's such a broad topic that people throw it around carelessly. But what does financial freedom really mean? So recently, I revisited this tool that I was introduced in dati, dun sa workplace ko dati. But I'm reminded of it again because the reason is I had a conversation with a friend the other day. And then we were talking about major life decisions. That prompted me to Google how to make good decisions. And then this tool came up. Now, because my belief and my passion is for you to gain financial freedom and to build that financial freedom, I connected this tool to that concept. So the tool is called the Six Hats. It's a tool made by physician Edward de Bono back in the 1980s, I think, somewhere there, early to I think 1980s. Tapos popularized again by Jim Quick, and so he illustrated it this way. There are six hats that you need to wear to make good decisions. And most of the time, people just walk around wearing one hat. And this is the only lens that they see when making decisions. That's why one-sided yung mga decisions nila. Pero for us, we need to have a broader vision and direction because financial freedom is such an important thing that people, makalimutan mo, parang kala mo, ano ba yan? Is that important to me? Well, consider this, use this tool, and then answer that question for yourself. So the six hats. Imagine there are six hats on a table. Oh, sorry, on a table in front of you. Six hats, and then they have different colors. And I'll tell you about each one, and an example of how you can kind of remember them easily. So the first hat is the white hat. So you put on the white hat, and this white hat, this is a way. So each hat represents a way of thinking. The white hat represents facts and logic. Now think about like a white lab coat, like a medical, like a surgeon. So we only deal with facts. Like what are the facts of the case? So when you're wearing the white hat, you think about, okay, what are the numbers? What does it look like exactly? What does financial freedom mean exactly? So let's say yung current na need mo or yung desired na need mo in the future is I want to be able to generate 100,000, maybe 200,000. But that's for the sake of making it easier on the math, 100,000 tayo. 100,000 a month na nag-earn lang yung aking mga assets. Everything that I own, it's earning me 100,000 pesos every month without me having to work. I can work if I want to, but if I choose not to work for that month, I'm still going to earn 100,000 pesos without doing anything. Or very light lang yung kailangan ko gawin, like maybe 1% effort, and then the rest just automatically flows and happens. So you're creating a very great degree of financial freedom already. So anyway, in the logical hat, okay, what does that look like numbers-wise? So 100,000 a month means 1.2 million a year. So ano ba yung mga assets ngayon? Ano ba yung mga vehicles na makakreate ng 1.2 million a year? So kung ang pinaka-simple na example is, okay, high-yield savings accounts. If it earns 4 to 5%, sabihin natin 4%, yun man yung parang pinaka-real na example. 4%, what would earn 4% in a year na maging 1.2 million siya? How much capital would that be? So if you do the math, that would be around 15 to 20 million na capital. I will flash the math on the screen right now, the exact math. And then you will see, okay, ganito pala yung amount of capital na kailangan ko if this is the only vehicle that I'm going to use to create financial freedom for myself. Some people, they choose real estate. Some people, they choose to create a business, which is much more high yielding. But if done correctly, you can also establish it in a way na it doesn't need as much presence from you. That's why you have managers and supervisors and people running the business, the executive team, and the owners just kind of own it and make the very big decisions later down the road. But they're like most of the time they're earning from it passively because they put in all the capital, all the effort to create it in the first place. Anyway, that's the white hat. You're only looking at it from one dimension. That's logics and numbers, and that's it. That's what you look at with the white hat. But life is much more complex than just like logic and numbers. So you take off the white hat, and now you put on, let's say, the red hat. Okay, the red hat, um, you imagine like the heart. Pula, 'di ba? Pula ang ano natin. What does that mean? Emotions. What do I feel? What do I feel about financial freedom? What is my instincts? What is my gut feel about wanting to create financial freedom? Is that in me? Is that something that I want? Is that something that I truly want? Can I maybe go through the difficult feelings that will inevitably arise as I go through this? How will my relationships be? Like, consider all the emotions that go into it, present and middle of it and future. Like, how will that feel when you step into that day? Na parang, man, I can do whatever I want. I can work on whatever I want to work on, not what my boss or my supervisor tells me. I am free to create what I think will benefit the world. How would that feel for you? So write that all down when you're looking at the world on when you're wearing the red hat. No, so that's the second hat. Third hat. And by the way, guys, you can use these hats in varying order. The first five hats you can use them interchangeably. So, yung red hat, emotions, is the question, what do I feel? Yung first hat, yung white hat, is like, what do I think about the situation? It answers that question. Parang plain and simple lang ba, ganun. Anyway, you take off the red hat, now you wear the yellow hat. Okay, so kung yellow, tingnan mo ang yellow, it represents kind of like the sun. Optimistic thinking. What's the best that could happen? Okay, so after you talk about like what you feel, optimistic thinking tayo. What's the best case scenario if I decide to go down this path? My I can create the most awesome, beautiful things for the world. Ano pa bang best case scenario? Like, I can just enjoy life. I can live life stress-free. Hindi ako magkasakit because of stress. Well, hindi naman talaga maiwasan na ang tao dito sa mundo magkasakit talaga, pero hindi siya because of stressing out over money. Okay. That's a optimistic kind of that's the best case scenario. I can travel freely around the world. I can enjoy everything that I want to enjoy in life, so on and so forth. Write that down when you're wearing the yellow hat of optimism. Now, as you can see, guys, I'm in the third hat. Makita nyo na merong ibang tao na ito lang parati yung sinusuot nila pero hindi nila makonsider yung ibang perspectives. That's why their decision is lopsided. So moving forward, next, we pick up the black hat. We put down the yellow hat and we pick up the black hat. Sa black hat, you can imagine like a judge's robes, diba? Black judge. Be as critical as possible. Answer the question, what's the worst that could happen if I build this financial freedom? For me, what's coming up is maging complacent ako, maging tamad. Wala na akong drive or gusto sa buhay kasi wala namang challenge. Parang, I'm just trying to be as critical as possible as I can in this scenario of financial freedom. I become arrogant, parang matapobre ka na, ganyan kasi feeling mo mayaman ka na. Oh, so that's another like be as critical as possible when you're wearing the black hat. As you can see, guys, merong ibang tao na parati lang din black hat yung sinusuot nila sa buhay, so they walk around very critical, and this is quite common in the Philippines. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's lopsided, kulang. Okay, so now take off the black hat, and then as you've written down all the critical or like what could go wrong. Kasi diba, we already wrote down what could go right. How do I feel? What do I think? What are the facts? What could go wrong? The fifth hat is the green hat, where you take off the black hat, you wear the green hat, and then the green hat represents creative thinking, growth, new possibilities. So yung green hat, guys, uh, when you wear it, you think, ano pa ba yung mga possibilities na hindi pa nag-exist na pwede ko ma-create? What are, kasi di ba when you talk about financial freedom, ano pa yung mga, kasi marami na kasing traditional na pathways of getting to it. Like, you have high-yielding bank accounts, you have cooperatives, you have time deposits, you have real estate, you have now UITFs, you have stocks. Marami kang ways to get to it. You can create a business. Those are the traditional ways. Pero I think the most creative path is creating a business that's serving a need na is currently not being served yet. Like parang you can create something new na it's not yet there in the world, but like, okay, so that's, anyway, creative. How are you going to put all these ingredients together and create that financial freedom? That's what you think of when you're wearing the green hat of creativity and growth and possibility. You think about like trees and a forest, ganyan. So yun naman yung green hat. Sometimes things don't require a creative solution. Sometimes they do. But like, that's what you're thinking about when you're wearing the green hat. So now you've worn these 5 hats interchangeably. You take them off. Bahala na, hindi naman siya kailangan in no particular order. There is no one greater than the other. But the last hat, the blue hat, this has to be worn last at all times when you're using this tool to make decisions. The blue hat represents, if you think about it, the sky. Sky is blue. So it's above. It's presiding over these 5 hats, and it's the overseer. So now you're looking at the bird's eye view and looking at, okay, now that I've considered these 5 different paths, what's the agenda for me, and then what's the conclusion of the matter? So doon ka na mag-decide talaga na, okay, now that I've considered these 5 varying perspectives that are equally valuable and can help me to form like a more rounded and accurate perspective on the matter, now I can make a decision. Will I go down this path or will I not? Now it slowly becomes a simple yes or no. Yes, I'm going all out. Yes, I'm going to put more effort into this, or no, I'm going to stop making an effort towards this direction and put my efforts somewhere else. So that, my friends, plain and simple, I just felt like it was such an important topic, or like parang tool for you to be able to use to create your personal meaning and personal reality of financial freedom. It may be like initially you say like, well, it's just a 1% degree, 5%, 10%, 20% degree of financial freedom. Meaning, kung sabihin natin 50% financial freedom, meaning 6 months in a year, you're covered. Like, and you only need to work for the 6 months that are remaining. I know, guys, mahirap siya i-comprehend, especially dito sa Philippines. If you're one of the people watching YouTube, parang, kaya ko ba yan na hindi ako magtrabaho for 6 months? Parang malayo masyado siya sa reality ba? Pero, that's the challenge, really. Like, when you're introduced to that idea, what are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna say, nah, that's impossible for me? Or are you gonna say, that's interesting. Okay, let me try that 6 hats tool. Like, ito yung sinasabi ni mo, like, how can I use this for my financial freedom? How can I use this 6 hats tool for other major decisions that I need to make in life? And I tell you guys, just by using this tool, at least, you can make a more rounded and more a decision that is closer to representing reality. And so, guys, that's the important message for today. I'm sorry about all the noise. Like I said, I'm by the highway, but I just felt like this message is so important that I need to deliver it to you today. And because every decision that you make starting today and moving forward, it's gonna create that future for you. So there's no point in delaying it. Guys, I hope this has been helpful, useful for you. If you want more messages like this, if you want more content like this, like, share, and subscribe. The usual things, you know what to do. Give me a comment if you feel like, okay, damn, that's useful. Thanks, Mon, for sharing that to me today. I'm Mon. I'm your partner in developing your ability to produce wealth and in building this this thing we call financial freedom. Let's do it together. Let's create a better a version of the Philippines together. And I guess that's my message for today. And guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you on the next video.